ECU?
R.
Do you bleed purple and gold?
Are you ready to hoist the colors?
Hoist the colors!
It's time for the most in-depth look into the world of ECU athletics. Welcome to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
Watch the show live on Facebook
And at 943thegame.com. Here's Stephen Igo.
Welcome in. It is another Football Friday, a college football Friday, college football playoff Friday. Big games on the horizon. It is also our final Friday show before Christmas. Our next to last Friday show before the Military Bowl will be coming to you with our last show December 26th, next Friday. But for today, we are talking East Carolina hiring a new offensive coordinator officially, Jordan Davis from North Texas. We'll get into that a whole lot more. What could be the next move for the Pirates and go from there. We'll also make our college football playoff picks, talk about that. How interested are we in the CFP? Huge weekend ahead for the NFL as well. We'll get into that and a whole lot more live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. You got a question, comment, concern, drop it there in the chat, and we will get to it. In studio today, we've got Bobby Harward. He's back. Sup Dogs is sponsoring his appearance today. Bobby, welcome back. Hail to the Commanders.
Hail to the Commanders. Hopefully we can keep it respectable tomorrow. Dude, I am really, really pumped for tomorrow's slate of just athletic events in general. Starting at 12, obviously, the Miami-Texas A&M game, which is one of the ones I'm looking forward to most. I follow Arsenal for the Premier League. They play at 3. And then at 5 o'clock, the Commanders play.
I mean, are you
going
to be a dad at all tomorrow?
I was going to say I'm probably going to be absent tomorrow. And then at 8 o'clock, Duke and Texas Tech play in hoops.
Man.
And obviously you got the college football playoff games going on. I've told you I'm getting into the NBA a little bit, following the Celtics. They play tomorrow night too. I mean, it is just a full day of sports, and my wife may potentially divorce me if I don't pay attention tomorrow to the children.
You just got to find that balance, man.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It is. Luckily, Erica, my wife's pretty good. She knows on Sunday when the Broncos play, like, that's my time.
Yeah.
And so, like, now I'm still, like, present for the kids if an event happens, but, like, I'm pretty locked in.
Yeah.
But, yeah, hopefully, Brittany, if you're listening, give the man some time tomorrow, you know. Let him enjoy it. Hopefully some of your teams win. I mean,
yeah,
you got enough of your teams playing that at least one or two should win.
You would hope. I mean, Arsenal's pretty daggum good, so hopefully they can at least be the team that pulls it out. And you know, Duke, they've been hot. But yeah, speaking of that, I normally prep Brittany like Monday or Tuesday. I was like, hey, Commanders play on Saturday this week, just so you know. 5 o'clock on Saturday, I'm locked in. We're probably going to do Sup Dogs, or we're going to do wings of some sort. And she's the same way. She lets me glue in, but normally I have to focus on one that I'm locked in on.
Philip Hilkinen does not have a wife or kids that we know of, at least, that to entertain on Saturday.
Don't know of.
So, what about your weekend plans, Philip? What you got?
So, first off, I think as long as you guys score 2 goals, you'll be fine. Everton's, prides himself more on defense than offense. So I think you guys are good there.
Soccer talk on Friday. True Football Friday.
There we go. Football Friday. Duke, look, man, they're going to get a tough Texas Tech team. Texas Tech, they should have beat Arkansas last week and just ran out of gas. And it was because they only had like 6 dudes. Both their injured players are back. Thought they looked good in their game in the midweek. They played a smaller school, but they put up 106 points. My weekend, man, college football playoff tonight, college football playoff all day tomorrow. Probably will be more locked into Duke, Texas Tech than I will be JMU and Oregon. And a big one tomorrow night between the Packers and the Bears. And I'm going to be back home because I'm going to the Panthers game Sunday, and my sister's boyfriend is a Packers fan. So I'm sure that we'll be watching the Packers-Bears game. And so it's going to be a fun weekend, and then get to go watch the Panthers lose to the Bucks. So it's going to be great.
Can't be negative, man. Although usually when we predict the Panthers' loss, this is when they turn around and win. Yeah. So that's how they do it. All right, we will get to our NFL picks and much more in the show ahead. I do want to get Bobby's take specifically on the news of Jordan Davis being hired as new ECU offensive coordinator. It is official now. Now I talked to some sources. He will stay back and coach and coordinate and call plays for North Texas at the New Mexico Bowl. That is official. So they play San Diego State. He will do that on Saturday. It was just the opportunity to call plays. So his first time truly calling plays is not at Alabama next year. So that's a positive. Also, he gets to be around Drew Mestamaker for another week. So, I don't think it's going to happen, but it can't hurt as far as him likely to enter the portal. So, and he's around more of those North Texas players. And let's just be honest. Those conversations can happen behind closed doors, especially with their head coach leaving to go to Oklahoma State. So, he's going to do that. But overall, we talked about him last week as a candidate, an Eric Morris disciple, been with him basically every step of the way. Bobby, your take on the hiring of Jordan Davis?
Yeah, there's a lot of things to like. I think just on the surface, the biggest question that comes from it is never been a play caller himself. That's the biggest red flag. We talked about it last week. You talked about it some this week. As long as Blake feels comfortable in the interview process, that he has a plan, he knows what he's doing, and a lot of times, too, those guys get their experience calling plays and scrimmages and that sort of thing, too. So it's not like it's going to be completely new. It's going to be new in a game setting. And so right now, I really trust Blake and the way he's gone about things and the hires that he's made. So I'm not going to second-guess him. And then I think just from Jordan's background, obviously being a part of the air raid, being tied to Eric Morris for as long as he has, to me, it really – I think a lot of, JDB that just happened with Lane Kiffin. You think of Lincoln Riley and Mike Leach. Like, we've had success with those type of hires here. And, hey, Lincoln Riley called the bowl game before he came here.
Worked out pretty good.
It worked out pretty good. Jordan Davis is calling it. And I actually do love that because he is getting a chance to call it himself. He's running his script in practice and setting all that stuff up because there's really no telling. Traditionally when head coaches are play callers, a lot of times they rely on those coordinators to make the scripts and to do those things. The Leach tree is a little bit different because Leach would do so much of that himself, and I think a lot of guys that were coming up under him saw him do it himself, so they kind of carried that themselves. And I'm wondering how that works now in the Eric Morris dynamic, if he evolves some and let Jordan do some of that scripting and practice planning, or if it was all Eric Morris.
It's really interesting if you just compare the Morris path to, obviously, Davis's. Morris, was with Leach almost every step of the way, did start at Houston as a GA and a quality control coach, but when he was with Leach, he was only receivers, and then when he was under Kingsbury at Texas Tech, he was OC/receivers coach. Kingsbury was calling the plays. He went from there to Incarnate Word as head coach, and then as head coach at Incarnate Word, he was calling the plays. And then he went to be OC only at Washington State for a year, and then obviously went to North Texas calling the plays. So it's kind of crazy. Just they took a very similar path. The only difference being Davis, will be calling the plays as OC at ECU for the first time rather than the head coach. But it's just kind of crazy. You mentioned like Lincoln and Leach and those guys, how they really seem to kind of have the same tree or path to getting to this point.
Yeah, no, it was really cool looking back. There's one of those Texas Tech photos, and I'm sure we could Google it at a break and figure it out. But the amount of offensive coordinators and head coaches that came from one of those staffs alone, you're talking Seth Luttrell may have been a player during that. No, he went to Oklahoma, but I think he was on the coaching staff maybe as a GA. You had Dave Nickel. You had Sonny Dykes, Art Briles. All of them guys were on a staff together, which is pretty incredible. And then, they've just kind of spaced out over time. A lot of them still kind of staying centralized into that Texas region, where they all are originally from. But it's been always cool to follow that tree and how they've evolved and continue to branch out.
So the biggest question I have, and I have not gotten any intel on this yet, will he coach quarterbacks or receivers? He's a receiver guy. I would assume he moves quarterback, Bobby. I feel like most coordinator play callers, I don't want to say you have to, but most of them, the vast majority, coach quarterbacks. Do you think there's any scenario where he stays coaching receivers as OC? I guess it depends on maybe who he can bring in.
Yeah, I think that's really difficult because I think where you do see the scenarios where you see the OC who's calling the plays coaching different position than the quarterback is maybe like the tight ends. And at that point in time, you probably have a GA coaching the tight ends. They're just kind of labeled the tight end coach because at least there used to be a position coach limit. And the GA can focus with the tight ends, and the OC is actually truly focusing with the quarterbacks. But I would prefer him to stay with the quarterback position. To me, like, you don't want any in between. You don't want the quarterback, whoever that may be, hearing a different ear in the meeting room. Like, you want the OC to echo his expectations directly to the quarterback in that meeting room. There's no third party in between where you have some communication issues. If they do end up going that route, I would imagine it would be somebody that Jordan Davis trusts fully.
Makes sense for sure. All right, so we had a comment from a fan, Davy Jones, says East Carolina will need to get 2 air raid quarterbacks and 2 air raid receivers out of the portal. So when you hear that, I mean, is there such thing as an air raid quarterback, or is it more just the best talent? Is there a type of skill set you want an air raid quarterback as somebody who has been on staff with this type of offense?
Yeah, I think an air raid quarterback, I think of accuracy. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Arm strength is not as huge of a deal. I mean, looking back at Shane Carden, he didn't have the strongest arm in the world, but he was pretty daggum accurate, and he made the right play. So you want somebody who is pretty cognitively intelligent and then pretty accurate with the football, makes those decisions, can process those things. And then I will say, I guess you can maybe say there's such thing as an air raid quarterback. There's definitely not such thing as an air raid receiver. I think you just want the most talented guys out there. You can get by in the air raid, though, with more possession-type receivers than necessarily speed burner guys. But you probably want a combination of, you want a guy that can stretch the field vertically. You want a short, twitchy guy in the slot. I mean, you think back even to the early Mike Leach eras and Wes Welker. It goes all the way back. It doesn't have to be the fastest burner, but can be shifty in the slot and get into those open spaces. And then you want a true possession guy similar to your Justin Hardy.
All right, Davey follows up on that. He says, how about communication between the quarterback and the receivers using hand signals like Shane Carden did? So, I think you have that kind of in every offense now, but just being on the same page obviously will be an adjustment. Learning a new scheme, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I think it's going to be we'll see some growing pains, and hopefully, thankfully, I know John Gilbert mentioned on your show some potential changes coming down the college football pipeline, and thankfully that's not going to happen this spring, so they'll have a full spring set of practice to install that stuff. With the run game, you try to keep it pretty simple. For us, we had 2 different run signals, and whenever a receiver saw that, they knew it was automatically a run. And then from a passing game standpoint, everybody's pretty much on the same page with that. That's worked on all throughout the week of practice as well. So, I mean, yes, it's going to be a learning curve, but even if Caton Hauser was coming back and Yannick was coming back, it was still going to be a learning curve with the OC. I'd imagine what's funny, too, though, mentioning the signals, is a lot of those air raid guys still keep the same signals that, if you see the rubbing of the eyes, that's trips right. That is early. That is what it's called. And Cliff Kingsbury still runs it.
Yeah.
So,
well, hey, if it works, don't change it. One of those deals. All right. Johnny Stat says this season, Jordan Davis was the first OC since Tony Elliott and Jeff Scott at Clemson in 2019 that led their offense to over 4,200 yards passing and 45 rushing touchdowns. It's quite a statistic. And Brooks Hill says Bryce Underwood is on my board for transfers in NCAA 26. Hopefully that will imitate reality. I don't think Bryce Underwood's coming here. Maybe his backup, Jaden Davis, which, by the way, before we get a break in, I wanted to ask you this because I asked Philip this earlier. And I don't think there's a wrong take at all, but would you rather have, if you can only pick one, the Power 4 guy who was highly recruited but hasn't played much at all coming down, or would you rather have an FCS guy who has played at a pretty high level but has to make that jump to FBS? If you only had one of those guys to choose or to pay for in your budget, who would you pick?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. I heard that question, and that's a difficult one. I lean towards a guy that has done it before, unless, to me, if the vetting process of one of those high-profile guys, if it's pretty thorough, I'd feel more comfortable with it. Man, so many times we've had those high-profile guys come on down, and it just doesn't pan out. And that there's a reason they were that high of a profile and having to come back down, in my opinion. So I tend to lean on the guy that has proven it, guy that has a chip on his shoulder, because normally a lot of those FCS guys do have their chip on their shoulder that are coming up and trying to prove themselves and don't feel like they are the shiz when they come up here. So I don't know I'll just mention Jordan Davis. I don't know anything about him personally, but that would be a fear of mine is, all right, does he think he's God's gift coming down here, coming to ECU, and we should be thankful for him, or is he going to try to prove it and earn it?
I keep hearing the name Braden Atkinson from Mercer, who was a freshman, North Carolina native, put up big numbers last year. We'll see what transpires there. His center, Gavin Marks, also in the portal. Both those guys were Rolesville products out of North Carolina. Both of them freshmen standouts at Mercer. So if you could get that package deal, that'd be pretty good to start with. So I just like what I'm hearing there early on, but long way to go before the portal arrives. So we'll see. I don't know if you've looked into them at all.
Well, there's an ECU connection with the center, right?
Yeah, his father went to ECU, so you've got some connections there. And I think a lot of his family did as well. So we'll see. The portal does open January 2nd. Jay, I'm going to read this before we get a break. Is it accurate that kids can't announce or commit to other teams through the portal until January 2nd? If so, it's going to be a pretty wide open couple of weeks. Yeah, it's going to be absolute chaos. But, Jay, I'll tell you this. Everybody's doing it. Agents, family members, high school coaches, all backroom deals, channels are being done right now. Everybody's tampering. Even though the portal doesn't open until January 2nd, once a guy announces he's going into the portal, they're basically already being recruited. Everybody's doing it. That's just the reality. That's why college football is the worst right now. But, hey, the games are still fun. And we'll talk about some of the games when we come back. We'll get into the college football playoff and more. This is Hoist the Colors on a Football Friday.
The team of Flatlands Jessup is working overtime to help ensure that Eastern North Carolinians like you get the health insurance help you need this open enrollment period. New legislation passed, meaning more people than ever qualify for affordable coverage. Let us help you today.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
Tired of the 1-800 numbers advertising Medicare products? Flatlands Jessup has 6 offices all throughout Eastern North Carolina. Get face-to-face help from our local award-winning licensed team. Stop by today. Flatlands Jessup, your whole world covered.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best.
Go Pirates! Arg!
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Allen, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need. Come get you one.
Every ECU fan's one stop for all things ECU athletics.
This is Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors here. Second segment. It's time to get into some picks. I do want to throw out, before we get into that, we do have an updated Hot Board 2.0 for the defensive coordinator search, so check that out, hoistthecolors.net. Still running our 50% off special. You can get the latest names that are interested in the ECU DC job. That's up on HTC now. All right, the picks. None of us have Kennesaw State in the Myrtle Beach Bowl, and unfortunately, gentlemen.
No, we all have Kennesaw State.
Oh, yes. None of us have Western Michigan, which is leading Kennesaw State 34-0, with 4:32 to go in the second quarter. So we are terrible. We are still terrible at picking bowl games, as is everybody. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I felt pretty good going into this week of bowl games. I'm going to be honest. Like, I put physical money on the South Florida game, thinking there was no chance that Old Dominion would be able to compete with South Florida. And boy, was I wrong.
Maybe it gives you hope for ECU.
Yeah.
On the pit, I don't know. I know you're not super high on.
No,
ECU's
I don't
chances.
think it's a good matchup for us, unfortunately.
So, I mean, look, I've seen ECU blow a 38-8 lead in the bowl game. Can Kennesaw State still come back?
No.
Okay.
No. They're just not the right type of offense.
If you want to see it.
Not that your Western Michigan runs the wrong type of offense. They're just going to sit on the ball because they kind of run it like a service academy.
Yeah.
How often does Steve Logan talk about the 2001 GMAC Bowl on the Logan Zone? Because that was.
I don't think he talks about it much.
He's probably wiped it from his memory.
Yeah.
38-8 at halftime over Marshall. Garrard versus Leftwich. Did not end well. All right. Anyways, more positive things, I guess. What are the standings updates, Philip?
So based off what the computer says, Bobby is 189. Steven is 95 and 94, and I am 92 and 97. With that being said, the computer updated after last week. We all picked Seattle -1.5 last night. Seattle won by 1, so add one more loss to everybody's record, and for all intents and purposes, add 2 more losses because Kennesaw State sucks.
And apologies to my father, Billy Igo, LA Rams fan. Usually a person that goes to sleep pretty early. He tried to last night, listened to the game, I think on the radio, and had to watch listen to the Rams blow it. That was
So he stayed up to listen on the radio, not even watch.
Yeah, he usually tries to. As far as I know, he told me he had it on the radio trying to go to sleep, which I knew wasn't going to happen.
So does he not have Amazon, or does he prefer
He has it,
radio?
but he prefers if he's trying to go to bed or laying down. That's just the way I think he prefers it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But, yeah, they blew it. It started with that punt return and was all downhill from there. Let's pick the Gasparilla Bowl, then we'll get into the CFP discussion. Memphis, NC State, kicking off this afternoon. NC State's a 3.5-point favorite. This is the only non-CFP game we're picking today. Much like any bowl game, just don't have a great feel for this game. We know that Hollywood Smothers, their running back, just opted out. I've heard mixed things on Justin Jolie, their tight end. I'm still going to go State, assuming C.J. Bailey plays in the game. It's a pretty good quarterback matchup, Bailey versus Brendan Lewis. I will take the Wolfpack of NC State -3.5. Don't love it, though. Any thoughts?
Philip, do you want to start?
Yeah, look, Memphis, talent, size, a lot of things.
When's the last time Memphis won a game?
Who knows? But in a lot of places, similar to East Carolina, everybody was mad at JDB. Dude, we lost the point of attack on almost every play. I just don't think Memphis has the size to hang. I mean, they'll hang, but to win this game. So I'm going to go State.
Yeah, even with Hollywood Smothers being out, I think NC State's going to be able to establish a run game and pound the rock. So give me the Wolfpack. I had actually woken up this morning thinking and all week going to pick Memphis, and then something just popped in my head that I need to go Wolfpack, so I'm going to listen to that.
All right, college football playoff gets underway tonight. The headline game is Alabama at Oklahoma. So this is a rematch of a game from earlier in the season. Oklahoma defeated Alabama. That game was in Tuscaloosa, right?
Yep.
So now we get the rematch in Norman. Oklahoma's a 1.5-point favorite. It's going to be raucous. I feel like Oklahoma's home field advantage is not really discussed, but it's tough to go in there and win a football game. I don't trust either. I definitely don't trust the Oklahoma offense, but I don't know if I trust the Alabama offense in this environment either. This is about as even of a pick'em as it gets. Alabama did outplay them statistically in the first matchup, but just made a bunch of critical errors at the wrong time. I'm torn on this one. Does anybody want to give some more commentary?
I'm going to give you some commentary. I'm going to ask you guys a trivia question.
All right.
When was the last time Alabama lost 2 games in the same season to the same team?
Had to be pre-Saban.
Yes.
So when did he start? What, 2004, 2006?
He was like 08 or 09.
Okay, give me 2007.
All right. I go. Got a guess?
2005.
Okay. So starting with a 2 is wrong. And I will tell you that starting with a 19 is wrong as well.
Oh my
1893.
Holy
Birmingham Athletic Club beat Bama that year twice. They went 0-4. They also lost to Swanee, and they also got just hammered in the Iron Bowl by Auburn. I'm going with the law of averages. Give me Bama. They won't lose twice to the same team in the same year.
Of course, they would only play the same team twice. What, when the SEC championship game got invented?
Yeah.
Theoretically,
yeah. I mean, I guess they could have played a team early and then played them in a bowl game. But now, like, the hell, they played Georgia like 2 or 3 times, a few times recently. It seems like in the same year. They'll play them in the regular season, play them in the championship game, and then play them in the playoff.
Yeah.
What your law of averages doesn't take into consideration is Kalen DeBoer being a fraud.
Fair enough.
Give me Boomer Sooner to get it done. I just think, man, this defense is really, really good for Oklahoma. I agree with the offense being a concern, and it doesn't surprise me to hear that they were outgained by Alabama, but I even though Alabama's been hearing the disrespect, there's still just a lot of noise around that program. Give me Oklahoma at home, night game in Norman.
So when these two teams met the first time, Alabama 406 total yards, Oklahoma 212. But Alabama turned the ball over 3 times. So despite owning a time of possession advantage, yardage advantage, they just turned it over. I'm gonna regret it, but I'm going Alabama. I almost wonder if they play it too safe here and try to prevent turning the ball over. But just give me the Tide. I'm going to go back and forth if I just keep doing this.
So at about 11:25, so on the way over here, I went to the Alphabet store and got some Maker's Mark. And I'm going to have some Maker's Mark tonight with some eggnog mixed in.
Interesting combo.
About 11:25 tonight, I'm going to message from y'all saying y'all are angry because...
Will you still be up is the real question.
I will be up. I will be up. I may take a nap this afternoon to make sure I stay up, and we're looking at Christmas lights tonight. But I'm going to get a text from y'all tonight, distraught because Boomer Sooner gets it done offensively.
He's just going to gain.
He's probably right. Yeah. We should probably both change our picks.
I'm rolling with the Tide.
I'm rolling. Yeah, we can't do it.
Roll
for the
Tide,
I'm just doing it. If I did it, it'd be for the sake of being the same as Bob.
All right, we'll pick this game. We'll get a break in. This is the early game on Saturday. Miami, Texas A&M. This is an 11 a.m. Central kickoff in College Station, 12 noon Eastern. The other best game, at least on paper. A&M's a 3-point favorite. Look, end of the day, I'm not trusting Carson Beck on the road to win a college football playoff game. Give me Texas A&M. This one, to me, Miami gets in. Good for them. A&M's had a lot of time to stew on that loss to Texas. I think they come out here. Would not be surprised if they lay the hammer down. I do think it'll be a good game early, but I think A&M is just a better team. So give me the Aggies.
Yeah, after the Hurricanes lose tomorrow, the CFP committee is going to be regretting because the 2 teams that got in over Notre Dame are already going to be knocked out. Those jokers. Here's my thing. I'm with you. It comes down to not trusting Carson Beck. The other thing is Marcel Reed is an athlete back there. I know Miami's defense is pretty stout, but I'm interested to see if they can handle him when he's moving around. So that's the other thing. I'm going to go with Marcel Reed. I think the A&M defense is talented enough. Again, I'm not trusting Carson Beck at the 12th man.
I could trust Mike Elko to put his team in a position to win this football game. Miami's okay at best. Give me the Aggies.
So the reason this game, by the way, is at noon is because the NFL has afternoon and night games. Did y'all read that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I mean, it kind of makes sense because the other two games are going to be like the other game will probably be close for a little bit, and then it'll be bad, and then the other game, the last game, will just they'll probably run the opening kickoff back. It'll probably look like this Kennesaw State Western Michigan game that I watched 5 minutes of and got mad and turned it off.
Yeah, and it's actually 11 a.m. local time.
There's a lot of disrespect out there about James Madison. So, hey, I'll tell you what, let's get a break in. We'll come back. Will Tulane or James Madison be able to hang around? We will get into that. And also Jansen Kidd calling Bobby a Notre Dame homer. We'll talk about that as well. This is Hoist the Colors on a Friday.
Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human. About creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leyva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're number one in fish cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown. At National Finance, we're all about hometown support, just like ECU football. National Finance helps us win on and off the field. They've got your back when you need it most. Fast, easy personal loans for life's big plays. And just like us, they're committed to Eastern North Carolina. National Finance, proud supporters of ECU athletics. Visit nfcmoney.com for loans as fast as today.
Hoist the sail! Ahoy, me hearties!
All right, welcome back in. We'll get to the rest of our college football playoff picks in a minute. Bobby Harward hanging out in studio again, brought to you by Sup Dogs. Check them out. Downtown Greenville. You guys know what they do for ECU Athletics, 213 East 5th Street. Also, Crush Vodka, amazing support for ECU Athletics and ECU in general, so support them in return. Philip Pilkington producing today, fresh off his appearance at the IBX Media Party as well last night. A couple questions I want to run through before we get to our picks. David wants to know any update on Coach Maddox. Will he stay with this new OC? So I'd heard Coach Maddox was leaning towards taking another job, has some offers out there, but then he tweeted fire emoji in a good way after the hiring of Jordan Davis yesterday. So we'll see. He has some experience in this type of offense, so we'll see how that transpires. Davy Jones wants to know, in the air raid offense, isn't there just 5 basic passing plays with variations running off those plays based on the situation of the defense? Now, Bobby, you were on staff with Lincoln and those guys. Something I did want to add is these things evolve. It's been, since 2015 now?
10 years,
Yeah, so a lot more RPO concepts have been thrown in to these type of offenses as well, but from your experience, what do you know about just the air raid principles?
Yeah, I mean, in a way, Davy Jones is kind of right. From a drop back standpoint, there's about 5 or 6 core plays, and then from a quick game standpoint, you have another 5 or 6 set of passing plays. Quick game is just catch and throw by the quarterback. He literally catches it, no step, and then turns and throw. He normally knows who he's going to pre-snap based upon the alignment of the defense. And then the drop back game in the shotgun formation is a 3-step drop rather than, a 5-step or 7-step that you would use under center. And again, that's more of a progression, normally a left to right or right to left progression based upon the reads. And then you tag off of that. Kind of the RPO stuff has evolved that towards the end of Lincoln's tenure, and then with Dave, a lot of the RPO stuff, and then we were just ended up tagging so many additions to the plays and switching up some of those route combinations that we, instead of, like, for example, I'll just go behind the weeds here, like 95 is Y cross is and I'm just giving an example here, and that would be smack 5 hands to the belly, and that was our signal. They knew they were running Y cross. Well, then we started tagging so much stuff on top of it. Instead of having the play call so long or the signal being so long and the quarterback missing it or receiver missing it, then you start just evolving to then create just one signal for that type of Y cross and then another signal for a different type of Y cross. And so to answer your question, yes, in a sense, but it has evolved more and more.
There's your X's and O's talk with Bobby Harward. By the way, be on the lookout for his film study breakdown of Pittsburgh. That'll be dropping probably early next week on the website. Does a great job with that. All right. He also wanted to know about run balance between North Texas's offense. So I did some research when Davis was being brought in. What I noticed about Eric Morris is over his 3 years there, their play calling really was dictated by their team's strengths. It wasn't just, hey, pass happy, run heavy. It was a mix. This year especially, they were very mixed because they had one of the best running backs in the country in Hawkins. And obviously they had a good passing game. They were just dominant in both phases this year. Last year with Chandler Morris, it was more pass-heavy. They had some injuries at running back. Still about probably like 55-45. And the year before that, it was more 50-50. So they can be very balanced. It's not just true like, hey, we're throwing the ball 70% of the time, air raid type of deal, like maybe Leach used to be. All right, picks. Let's continue on here. College football playoff Saturday evening, afternoon action, I should say. Tulane rematch at Ole Miss. 17.5 is the spread. These two teams met early in the season. Ole Miss crushed them. Now Lane Kiffin's gone. And I don't know. I feel like a rematch. Maybe it's just Tulane's just still not very good compared to Ole Miss. But like I feel like a rematch against a team you've already lost to in a big way favors the team that lost. Am I, like, psychology-wise?
No, I agree with you. They don't want to be embarrassed again.
Yeah, I mean, and they'll be able to make some adjustments. The thing is, they started that game so poorly. Jake Retzloff started the game 0 of 9 passing the football.
Well, and the other thing to think about with that game, too, that was early in the year. I remember doing the Tulane film breakdown. They were primarily run. We were texting back and forth about how much they emphasized the run. A lot of that probably has to do with Retzloff coming in so late in August, and then now they've been able to evolve the playbook even more and open up their passing game a little bit more.
So the line's at 17.5. These two teams have changed a lot. I think it's a good line. I think Tulane hangs around. It's just, can they make it a game? I'm going to go with Tulane to cover 17.5. I think if Ole Miss has a chance to put the hammer down, if you're Pete Golding, you're trying to make a statement, hey, Lane's out of here, but we're still Ole Miss. We're still going to crush teams like this. I think he will, but Tulane's better. I think Ole Miss is maybe about the same. I think Tulane hangs around and keeps it close.
I agree with everything you said, and I don't have much to add. I think it's going to probably end up being around a 13, 14-point game. But to me, I do think that the part that scares me is what you said is Golding is going to try to make a statement too. So if he gets the opportunity to put the final nail in the coffin, he will for sure. But what I think I like about this most of all is Summerall and the way he's going out at Tulane, trying to be fair to his players. And most of their whole roster, is just running it back. And they were disrespected last time. And I think everybody's like, hey, you lost by 35 points. I think they'll keep it close.
I love the half point on the 17. I think there's a very good chance this game's like 38-28. They put the nail in the coffin and win it like 45-28. Now, they could be up 14 and put the nail in the coffin and win it by 21, I think just as easy. But, it's a game for – it's one of those games where it's not really a game, but Tulane's just there. And it's like, well, if they get like a crazy turnover or something, like it's going to feel like they're chasing the whole game, but I think they keep it close. So I'm going to go Tulane as well.
James Madison's at Oregon. Oregon's a 20.5-point favorite. Tall task. I do think James Madison, despite all the criticism, is a very good football team. The problem is, it's already tough enough for the group of 5 teams to try and win these games, but like having to go to the home field, like just makes it extremely, extremely challenging. And James Madison having to go all the way to Eugene, Oregon, and Alton Stadium, where it's always a madhouse, is going to be tough. I'm just going to go with the Ducks here. I think James Madison, again, good team, but this is just a tall task for them. And their defense is pretty legit. Wouldn't surprise me if they hang around, get some stops early, but I just don't know if they're going to be able to do a whole lot offensively in Alton.
Yeah, I think, to me, like, as a fan of the Pirates, you want the G5 to have respect. But to me, there's already a big drop-off from the Power 4 to the American Conference and probably the top half of the Mountain West. And then you have another big drop-off from the Sun Belt and the bottom half of the Mountain West. And then the CUSA is just on a whole nother tier at the bottom. But that's where I feel bad for JMU here because I do think they're talented. I think they're a good football team. I just don't think they face anything like Oregon and going all the way out west. I see this as a 4-score, 5-score game.
I'm just going to be honest. I'm taking minus 20.5 in the first half. I think they're up like 28-7 at halftime. I think this is like when they played Liberty in the Fiesta Bowl 2 years ago. Sorry. I think this JMU team's better than that Liberty team, but I just don't think it's close.
I hope that one of these teams, even if they don't win, just make it a good game. So I'm just tired of the complaining, man. Like the whole Nick Saban
Nick Saban could stick it where the sun don't shine.
Saban and Paul Feinbaum just like railing on these teams. Like, does anybody really want to see Duke in the playoff? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, yes, you're a Duke fan, but it wouldn't be any different to me.
And
I don't know. I think Duke would be more competitive today.
At Oregon?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Here's my issue. This happens in the NCAA basketball tournament, and everybody gets all hyped for the underdogs. Like, they're like, oh, JMU doesn't belong on the same field as Oregon. Did UMBC belong on the same court as Virginia?
But to me, there's a difference in I agree with what you're saying. There's a set rule, and people need to respect what policies or whatever is in place to have these group of 5 teams be a part of it, and they do need a slice of the apple. But the physical nature of football compared to basketball, like for me, like you can have a guard go off in basketball, or your 3-point shot go off, but just the way the line of scrimmage is the collisions and the larger players at the Power 4.
Yes, look, I agree. It's the upsets would happen less, but Kansas lost to like Nicholls State a few years back, beating Michigan. Like, it could happen still.
Like, if James Madison beats Oregon, it may be one of the best stories in college football history.
Yeah.
But and I'll counter again. I'm just going to count because I think y'all are right. Like there is a potential for upsets, but those things happen in the beginning of the year when those teams are still trying to figure this out. These teams right now know they're competing for a national championship right now in the playoffs, so it's a different level of focus as well from the higher level teams.
That's a good point.
And I really think it matters too. Like if it was more of a neutral field deal, it's easier to overcome those obstacles, like in the tournament, like in some of the bowl games we've seen. I just think it's very tough to just roll into Alston Stadium on December 20th and win a football game.
Yeah.
No matter who you are, let alone James Madison. But either way, Feinbaum and Saban though, kick rocks, man. Tired of those guys. Let's get a break in. We'll come back. We will have our final segment, NFL picks, on the way after this.
Don't miss year-end deals during the season of giving at Greenville Toyota. Drive a new Camry, just $229 a month, $229 a month. Or new RAV4, $279 a month, $279 a month. Hurry in for the season of giving at Greenville Toyota.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Daughtridge Gas and Oil has been your dependable propane supplier for 95 years. Their trained technicians can service and properly install all your propane and natural gas appliances. Plus, Daughtridge Gas and Oil is your backyard expert with fire pits, grills, smokers, and more, including quality outdoor furniture at their Greenville Patio and Hearth Shop at 1901 Charles Boulevard. Go by and see the knowledgeable staff at Daughtridge Gas and Oil for propane delivery or call 756-1345.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked-to-order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's Cut in Color and let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
The season of giving is here at Greenville Toyota. Unwrap a new Corolla, $159 a month, $159 a month. Or new Tacoma, $219 a month, $219 a month. Don't miss the season of giving with year-end deals at Greenville Toyota.
Like all pirates, Stephen Igo is loyal and bold.
He may also have a touch of scurvy. Back to Hoist the Colors on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment on the way. I just want to answer this from Kevin in the chat. Bobby Harwood, Philip Cook hanging out. Kevin wants to know, can ECU do like Virginia Tech and hire Mike Houston as defensive coordinator? I mean, they could, but they will not.
He hasn't called a defense since his days at Lenoir Rhine, which was.
I think that's correct.
That would be the other red flag.
Yeah. Look, I like Mike Houston a lot. I don't think that's going to happen. Also, like, Mike Houston worked over Blake Harrell for years, whereas Franklin worked over Pry for years, so it made more sense for him to bring back Pry.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So different dynamic. Will not be happening. All right, NFL picks. Let's get to these so we can get them all in. Eagles are at the Commanders. This is a Saturday game. Eagles are a 7-point favorite. Bobby, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm worried about this one. I think if we can man it, if Philadelphia is off offensively, that's our chance to keep it within 7, which they have not been great this year. But if they start firing on all cylinders, it's going to be tough. My biggest concern is stopping Barkley in the run game because it could be a long day. But I am still going to pick the Commanders to cover.
I'm going to take the Eagles.
Yeah, I think Philly hit on something last week. Give me the Eagles.
Kenny Curlin says, we are heading to the bowl, and my wife surprised me with tickets to the Redskins-Cowboys game for Christmas. He's a happy man.
Awesome.
Kenny, your wife is awesome.
Incredible.
So that's awesome. I'm happy for you. Enjoy that. You'll see some ECU football players there. They'll be at the game as well, and Savone Rebel, obviously. All right, Packers are at the Bears. Bears are 1.5-point favorite. Packers coming off losing Micah Parsons and the receiver Christian Watson. Huge game in the NFC North. I think I'm gonna go with the Packers here on the road. Just got a feeling they win this game and win the division down the line.
I have that same feeling. I like the Bears, but I know they lost Micah Parsons, but I still think they're a talented football team. Give me the Pack.
The Bears are 1 year away from being able to win these games. Next year, they're on right now. Go Pack, go.
Buccaneers 3-point favorites going to the Panthers. Philip, I'll let you start it here and give us your pick.
Yeah, this is one of those where everything's pointing towards Tampa. So Carolina probably will win the game, but there's just too much talent on the back end or on the outsides for Tampa, and the Carolina's back end will not be able to stop all the weapons that they have. I think Carolina's offense keeps them in it. They hang around. Offenses look better, but the defense is not good enough. Give me the Bucs by a touchdown.
The Buccaneers lately have been quite awful. They're due for a resurgence, but then again, the Panthers, every time we're ready to write them off, like after they lose to the Saints, they bounce back and win. I think they win this one, and I think the division will come down to Week 18. I'm going to go with the Panthers at home.
But if the Panthers win this one and then beat Seattle, they lock it up.
Is that true?
Yeah. They just have to win 2 of the final 4, beating Tampa one of those.
No, that was different.
That was different. So
it was because the New Orleans game mattered with the division record. So I think, if Carolina were to win this, beat Seattle, and Tampa were to lose to Miami, then Carolina could already have it locked up. But Tampa's going to beat Miami. So even if Carolina beats Seattle and they end up splitting, Tampa's going to have the tiebreaker.
Oh, okay. Isn't it ironic that they have to go through Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold?
Yeah.
But give me the Bucs. I just think they're going to be too explosive offensively.
It is the Jansen Kidd Stephen Igo Bowl. Jaguars at Broncos. Broncos 3-point favorites. They've won 11 games in a row. They've won so many in a row I can barely keep track. I'm not even trying to brag. It's just getting kind of ridiculous at this point. They're going for their 12th straight win. Look, they're due for a letdown, but no offense, Jansen, who is calling for a 27-23 Jags win. Their offense has been great lately, but Jacksonville rolling into Mile High in mid-December, I'm going to take the Broncos every time. And I just think Denver at home is too good right now. I'll take Denver 3 points. I think they keep the winning streak going.
Duval. I'm going the Jags. Sunshine is rolling into Mile High. He's going to ride upon that horse, just that Bronco horse, and he's going to take control of this football game.
It probably does have, man. Denver's due for a letdown. I picked them to have the letdown last week. They didn't. They're riding high. So they probably will lose, but I've been picking Denver all week, so I'm going to stick with them. Sticking with my gut. Give me Denver.
Sunshine hasn't seen a defense quite like this. Please throw it to Patrick Surtain. Please do
that
it.
Houston Texan defense is pretty good.
They're good, but they also lost to Denver in Houston, so I don't know. Denver might have them top. Steelers at the Lions.
Fishy line here.
Yeah, Lions are 7-point favorites. Give me the Lions.
I've said all year the Steelers are frauds. They continue to be frauds. I know they're winning the division right now, but give me the Lions.
I could see them covering here, but I do think Detroit doesn't. I'm picking Detroit, but like I said, if this was like 4 or 5, I'd be all over Detroit. But this line's fishy.
It's a lot of points for two pretty good football teams.
Yeah, for two good teams.
Yeah. And then we will wrap it up with Patriots at Ravens. The Ravens are a 3-point favorite. They've just been off all year. And, again, if they can sneak into the playoffs, which they probably need to win this game to do, they would be a dangerous team in the playoffs, whether they win the division or not. Do we still have another Ravens-Steelers game on the horizon?
Yeah, next week, I think.
Okay.
Let me look.
So, Pats finished with a very easy schedule. If they win this game, they're still in play for the number 1 seed as well. I'm just going to go with Baltimore at home. They're a 3-point favorite. I think they're kind of in desperation mode despite the inconsistencies. I'm going to go with Baltimore.
I'm going to go with New England. I'm a believer in the Patriots.
Team,
yeah. Baltimore's been off. I know they're still fighting for that division, but the North, the AFC North is just a mess right now. So give me the Pats.
Baltimore reminds me of Philly. They got their act together last week. Yeah, it was against a bad football team, but they got their stuff together. You know what, though? I'm picking Baltimore to cover. My true prediction, this is a push. None of our picks matter. I'm going Baltimore 27-24.
All right. The NFL playoff picture, by the way, 3 teams have clinched playoff spots. Can y'all name them?
Seattle. Denver.
2.
Rams.
3. There you go.
Does Rams have 2?
Yep. The Rams, as a result of losing last night, they dropped to the 5th spot, and now the Niners are in play as well.
Yeah.
If the Niners win out, I think they
are the champions.
They
are
win
not
the division.
necessarily the number 1 seed, I think, but they are the West champions.
Which they do have a difficult schedule, starting with the old man Phillip Rivers on Monday Night
How
Football.
about that? That was kind of
That's
impressive.
insane, man. He actually did good, and they should have won at Seattle in many ways. But, yeah, fun few weeks for the NFL playoffs on the horizon. All right, we are out of time. Somebody said Week 18 we get Steelers-Ravens, so that could side division. All right, Bobby, appreciate you, man.
Yep.
Good luck to your Commanders and all your other teams in action. Maybe them more so than the Commanders because you kind of want a loss.
Yeah, we need a loss for draft status.
Good luck to Phillips Panthers. Not good luck to Jansen Kids Jaguars.
And go Everton.
And Phillips says go Everton. Wow.
Oh,
Chelsea's got to catch Arsenal somehow.
Man, yeah.
We're out of time. We'll see you Monday, 12 noon. Hoist the colors. Have a good weekend.